I mean, I don't think it's ever going to be easy. I don't think it's ever going to be, it's never going to feel good. And you're consistently going to second guess and doubt yourself. But that doesn't mean don't do it. You just need to learn how.
And the learning how to do it, that pain, I think that because it's so guaranteed and relationships are our softest spot, we run away from actually doing it, which ironically ends up being more hurtful and more harmful sometimes. And there's a lot more people that are in that bucket than we think.
Hey everybody, it's Bianca.
Welcome back, Evolvers. It's Amelia. For today, episode 520, The Right Way to End a Relationship. Bianca and I are sitting in our studios while it is beautiful outside and we are aching in our hearts, but grateful to be here on the mics with each and every single one of you when this comes out. So for this episode, she and I, just before we got recording, we were in the thick of it. And this episode is going to be a raw episode because we know from not only firsthand experience, but we also have an insight into so many clients' lives about how difficult it is to truly end a relationship and doing so in the right way that feels good for you, not in the moment, but in the long term. So I know a lot of us struggle with this. I've struggled with this. Bianca struggled with this. We all have a struggle to some degree, especially if you're an evolver. If you are growing, evolving, wanting more for yourself, wanting better. And if you're a goal achiever, I always say this with my clients, there's quite literally a stipulation of growth where you can either have those relationships that you love and care about grow with you, or you end up growing apart. And that really sucks. And that is inherently a part of the journey that we wish weren't true. But if we can use some of the tools that Bianca and I have used not only for ourselves, but for clients to reframe that, it actually can be one of the most powerful tools that we cultivate, I believe.
And this isn't just intimate relationships. This is all types of relationships. When we think of ending relationships, a lot of us tend to gravitate toward the idea of just intimate relationships. But I think we're starting to be in a time right now where more and more people are not tolerating mistreatment and they're not tolerating as much BS from all of the relationships in their lives, whether it's friendships, coworkers, intimate relationships, family, you name it.
Yeah.
It's one of the most it can sincerely be one of the most activating experiences because it activates and calls forward every single one of your core fears, your limiting beliefs, the pain points that you have. And I had a situation recently where this happened. So I didn't super publicize this because I wasn't, I don't know, there was something in my gut telling me don't, just stick with it and kind of figure it out before you talk about it or do anything. I was in a relationship between September and April, right? April. We were together for a while and I was doing RTC, relationship talks coaching with Alan and Amelia, and I was going by myself because intimate relationships are something that I want to do much better at. I really aspire to have a magnificent, wonderful relationship, and it's been a massive pain point in my life. So I was getting coaching, I got into this relationship, and the entire time I'm in it, I'm like, I don't know, something doesn't seem right here. But I'll keep trying it because I need the practice and I need to get better at this. Keep going,
Sorry, I'm just going to interject here because prior to that, you had a belief that there was no one out there, and I think that that's really important to mention too, while also respecting your privacy. But one of the things that I know you've publicly shared is how difficult it is, to really find someone that is with the same values, beliefs, aspirations. And I also know that we've talked about that and how difficult that is. That cultivates a belief about you finding your person, right? And prior to that, so that was really big for you to do that. And I just want to make sure that you get the credit on that.
And I appreciate it.
It's really big to put your heart out there as much as you did.
Well, it's hard because the belief beforehand was based on this narrative that I wasn't good enough. Like, I'm not good enough, I'm defective, nobody's ever going to love me. And I think the harder thing now, which I never thought this was going to be harder, but it is, oh my God, is I'm too much. For the first time in my life, in almost all of the areas in my life, not just my looks, but in all of the areas of my life, I'm now too much. So am I ever going to find a partner who wants a highly empowered woman, who has massive goals and dreams, who's insanely dedicated, who's insanely consistent, who's driven, who will do anything to achieve her goals? That's really, really, really rare. So when I found this person, it was like, oh, they seem like they have all of the same goals and aspirations, and they're not intimidated by me and whatever. So there was this dual process happening where I'm trying to pick out the best qualities in this person that I see in tandem with true self, being like, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right. Something feels off here.
Yeah.
I finally get to a point where it's like, okay, no, I need to trust myself. This isn't it. I have to trust this. I talked to you. I talked to Alan. You guys were like, yeah, trust your intuition. And I'm like, okay.
Got it.
So I bring something forward. I'm like, hey, here's all these things that I'm noticing. Here's this, and this. Like, I need you to do better. Can you show up for me? Blah, 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 blah. Massive attack.
Which was, by the way, the premise of the relationship. This agreement that this is a growth-oriented relationship.
100%.
That there will be communication and show up when it is possible.
They did a really good job of making it seem like they were like me. Yeah. Everything in their life from the outside in looked like it. And then when you got into it, it's like, oh, you're nothing like this. This is all a show.
Yeah.
So when I finally called this person out, it's like, it was a massive attack. And it's like, okay, no, this is it. This is the end. Thank you very much. Good luck with everything. Have fun. I obviously didn't say it like that, but like I'm doing the quick version. It triggered and activated. I don't want to say the word triggered because it's not a trigger. This activated and put pressure on every limiting belief that I have ever had, especially the new ones that are coming out too. I'm going to be too much for someone. Nobody's ever going to want to be with someone like me. You know, everything. And I believe that I approached that the best I ever have. And that's why I'm sharing this. Was it perfect? No. But ending it in the way that I showed up in that situation, I sincerely believe was the absolute best I've ever done. So much so that I'm like really proud of myself for how I navigated that. There's also been a lot of stuff going on with family, which I haven't super dove into in a while just to keep my own privacy and whatnot. But I'm in a phase of life where I made the really difficult decision to completely cut ties with my family in its entirety. So I've made the decision to never see my family again. And I made that decision in November, and that got re-solidified this month when something happened. And that like broke something in me because it was something that I never thought I would do. That was like my biggest ever pain point. because that activated all of the beliefs in me. I'm a bad person. I'm not seeing this correctly. No, maybe I really am in the wrong. No, well, I can fix it. And it activated all of the narratives that my parts are trying to convince me of to make me not do this. Because that's been the narrative my entire life. Convince me that I'm wrong. Convince me that I'm the problem. Change me. No, and that bleeds into my like intimate relationships. I'm the problem. I'm a bother. I'm a burden. I'm this, I'm that, so on and so forth. So the reason I share these stories is because we have direct personal experience when it comes to ending relationships. And unfortunately, we've had to become very good at it. By nature of who Amelia and I are, by nature of the women that we are and are becoming, the goals that we have set, and the lives that we want to live, and the impact our lives have, that it is like we have to make those choices. And it is a choice. No one's like pressuring us to do it. It's a choice to make those choices because of the women that we want to be and what we want to do in the world. And it doesn't make it any easier. No. Yeah, please.
I also want to say, based on that, for anyone who's kind of getting to know us, or if this is net new, it's so easy, I think, to jump into the narrative of, yeah, okay, you have experience of that. It's got to be so easy to do what you've done, and to think that. And what I've also recognized is actually it's far less of the desired choice, as a matter of fact. And it's been, to what you've vulnerably said, I never in a million years thought that this would be where we would have to be, if you will. You know, I never thought that trading off, if you will, on certain relationships that are closest to us actually is what became the freedom to pursue our goals and dreams. And it's fucking heartbreaking.
We didn't want to either.
Yeah. Well, because the observation has been not everyone is capable of being by the side and being 10 out of 10 supportive and loving and caring, and not taking someone else's dreams as a personal attack of why you are not operating in compliance with the way in which relationships, quote unquote, normally operate. You know, like being so divergent and having such a divergent and different path. I never really thought that it would require us getting, quote unquote, good at discerning who is actually capable of handling that level of pressure, quote unquote, because I thought that people just inherently were supportive to people who have goals, dreams, and aspirations. And one reality that's been quite the slap in the face and really depressing, and I was saying this to Alan in my 30s, is actually, no, not at all. And trying not to take that also personally as well, right? To the right way to end a relationship component, trying to not take other people's limitations in that personally. That's been really difficult and really depressing, because what we've seen is that very few people try to break the glass ceiling of their limitations to try to keep and grow with people who do have goals, aspirations, and empowering beliefs. And that is super depressing. And I won't go down that rabbit hole, but I think that it's worth mentioning, because be it in an intimate relationship or friendships or family, it's been surprising to see how, I don't want to say how little capacity, because that sounds so demeaning. And I'm going to reframe that. For someone that has goals, dreams, aspiration, and wants to improve their belief systems, how much more capacity that person has. And I think that the reframe on this, to what I said earlier, it's an amazing gift that if you're an evolver, you have. And it feels like shit most of the time, because a lot of relationships won't grow with you. And that's a hard truth that probably no one's ever told you. The books that you've read, everything that you've heard from other people, they're not people who are reaching for things that have never happened before, never been before, never become before. of our species. And so you have an inherent gift, but it definitely will at times feel like curses, especially when our biological imperative gets questioned every single step of the way, meaning our feeling of belonging is so ridiculously absent from the people that we thought we would have it the most from. And and what we've done with that, and what we do with that, and what we choose to do, and how we choose to continue to be a net positive on the world around us, that is something really special. Because to the ending of relationships, I also want to, in my good optimistic nature, I've never had better relationships in my life too. Like Bianca, the relationship that you and I have, the relationship that we have with our team, the relationship that I have with Alan, the relationship with the people that I do feel so privileged to have in my life and so grateful to have. Extraordinary relationships that I don't think that I would be able to have if I didn't end specific relationships. And I think that that's also something to note for someone who might be on the fence about closing a relationship, shifting the dynamic, shifting the level of intimacy or proximity to a specific relationship, setting boundaries, maybe full-blown cutting ties and moving on from a relationship, or having that totally change and transform. I think that it's so important to see what else is possible, because it's not just all doom and gloom, which is very well what someone could be hearing from this.
Hi everyone, my name is JC DaCosta, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit about Evolve Ventures, and to let you know that it is a community where you can be your authentic self. I personally have experienced a place where I can tell my story and know that I'll find somebody who has shared a similar experience. It's a community of empathy, of leadership, of growth, of opportunity, and it's just a phenomenal community with budding and growing leaders who have a voice. And it's a forum and a platform, all of this good conversation, and it's meaningful conversation. So I am grateful for Evolve Ventures and its leadership, and thank you so much for listening to my spot. Take care.
You have to be willing to take the risk. I was having a conversation with a client about this literally yesterday. She is in a very, very toxic relationship. As soon as she started really flourishing, and as soon as she started really becoming this amazing version of herself, her partner did a complete 180.
Wow.
Her partner is now attacking her, tearing her down, trying to convince her of narratives that aren't true. It's devastating to watch from the outside in. And she was like, but I'm going to be alone. I don't have anybody. I'm going to be alone. What if I don't find anybody? What if this is the best I'll ever have? And it's like,
yep,
you have to risk it. You have to risk it. And that's terrifying. Like, even with family, you can't, like, biological family, you're not going to like build a new biological family. That's it. It's gone.
No.
Once you cut that.
Yep.
I know. You like when your family is gone, they are gone. It's not like you're going to be able to like manufacture new biological ties. But that doesn't mean that there aren't people in your life that can become family.
Yeah. Chosen
And
family.
that's exactly. And that's the really hard part. You have to be able, you have to risk it. Even though you don't have evidence, even though you don't have any reason to believe it. Like me with intimate relationships, I still very much hold that belief.
Yeah.
And it's getting worse and worse and worse the more I'm in the dating world, and the more I'm interacting with people, and the more I grow, and the more I'm living my life. It's like, oh my God, this is awful.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely going to be alone forever. And it's been so hard forcing myself to have an optimist mindset of like, you have to trust in what you can't see. You have to, because that's the only way that it's ever going to end up happening. And I think for everybody listening, the right way to end a relationship is, from what I've done, and I can only speak on what I've done and what I've helped clients to do. Number one, you have to get crystal clear on your values and your boundaries and like your character. Like, who are you? All of the BS limiting beliefs are going to start to come up. All of the old narratives that people are trying to convince you of. But when you connect to your truest self, if you actually are not the problem, because a lot of people might be listening to this and you might be the problem. Like, there's a lot of people who are like, no, it's them. No, I think it's you. So like, if you've done the work and you're like, no, this actually is the other person. I really have tried. And that's the scarier thing to believe. It's probably true that it's them and not you. No, so if that is the case, you have to get crystal clear on your values, your boundaries, your needs, your character, your aspirations. And then sincerely ask yourself the question, do these people, does this person, does this situation actually line up with that?
Yeah.
What you're going to come to is the answer is no. So then what do you do about it? This is where we start to gaslight ourselves. This is where we start to let others manipulate us. This is where we start to second guess everything. And this is where we need to be surrounded by people who care about us, who see who we really are, and help us do that hard thing, which is end it, walk away.
And give us that strength, not to convince us to do anything, but give us the support and strength to bring us back to ourselves and our own core values and who we are, so that we can have the reserves to do what we don't want to do, but we know is better for us long term. And that's everything. That's where chosen family is really, really, really important. And I hope to hecken back that whoever you do have in your corner is also rational, is not like tries like crazy to make sure that they groom through their biases when they give you strength, as they give you the strength and courage, and can hold a hard mirror back to you to make sure that they're just not like what AI models are right now and ChatGPT is doing for so many people, which is validating people up and down their rectum. It's like out of this world, the level of validation that I think people are experiencing right now, to be able to do and be whoever without taking multiple perspectives, level setting their own BS and their own contributions to a pattern. And I think that there's a severe issue in that. And I think there's a big difference. We did an episode around validation. There's a big difference of having people in your corner that, I don't want to say hold you down, but bring you back to earth out of denial and delusion, because they're pointing to an objective reality that you're refusing to look at and looking away from, or you're scared in a corner and you don't want to look at that.
And being very careful that if someone is trying to do that, it's merited, because a lot of people do have people in their life that is like, no, I'm bringing you down to reality. It's like, no, you're bringing me down to your distorted consciousness, to your insecurities, to where your ego is. So you have to be really conscious of, does this person actually have my best interest at heart?
Exactly.
Or are they trying to bring me to where they are because it's more comfortable for them? Right. Amelia calls me out more than anybody. You and Alan, oh my God. Oh my God. And I'm so grateful for it.
And it's
because
so
you guys also help me to see the truth.
Yeah.
You don't tear me down to tear me down. You help me see the realities of the distortions in my own thinking and the limiting behaviors that I'm having. And you also build me up. You want me to flourish. You want me to succeed because it doesn't impact you. It doesn't negatively impact you if I'm amazing. It benefits you tremendously. And even without you, you want me to be amazing. That's the reality of it.
And that's something that I wonder if people have in their corner. I wonder, because I know that the large majority of the answers would be no. Do you have someone in your corner where even if you were to be completely not connected to them, they just want you to find your truth, the truth, and just persevere through that, regardless of if it like impact consequences? Like, that's not necessarily the angle. It is free thinking, truth seeking individuals that help us understand our right way to end a relationship or to distance from a relationship that's not serving us. And if you don't have someone in your corner who is helping you do that, my friends, it is time to grow up and do something about that. Because a life that is in the opposite direction or trajectory of that is a life that one day will come back around for sure, and not the ways that you likely want.
So in closing, make sure that you have people in your life and in your corner who outside of themselves sincerely want you to succeed. Make sure that you are getting crystal clear on your values, what matters to you, your character, and helping you get rid of the delusion so that you can see the truth, not only of them, but of yourself. And then you make your decision from there. You take action from there, from a grounded stance of true self, not the negative limiting beliefs, the negative automatic thoughts, the distorted patterns because it benefits other people, but because you know that doing the right thing for you is going to have a positive ripple effect.
Yeah, both short and long term. It's huge. And there's a visual asset that I consistently am using with people to help them find their way to not just the right decision or the right way to end a relationship right now, but the right way to end it so that in 5-10 years from now, you're actually really proud and wish you had done it sooner. But you're grateful that you did it the way in which you did. There's a digital asset that I use all the time with clients that we use in group coaching. So group coaching, for anyone that's unfamiliar, is a program that we do once a year. We have only 10 people in that program, and it's capped, it's limited for a reason. And it's been a tremendous success. And in the last, I want to say 2 sessions that we have. So there's the program, the way in which it works, there's 9 growth sessions. We have an intro or kickoff session that kind of lays the groundwork. And then we have a graduation ceremony at the very end. But there's 9 growth sessions that happen bi-weekly. So by the end of 3 months, essentially, you will have transformed some of these things. And in the last 2 or so sessions, there's a very keen focus on relationships and interpersonal relationships. This topic specifically comes up about how do you discern what is the rule book for you that you are going to use moving forward. And I have so many testimonies kind of coming in and into my mind right now about how they've used those digital assets. They've used those skills that they learned and picked up through group coaching and are adequately ending, distancing, bringing closer, connecting to relationships that are so much more aligned for them now. And they attribute that to the program. So it's an incredible program. And I don't just say that to say that, nor to plug it, although I do want to make sure that any evolver that's listening to this is aware that we are coming up on the enrollment of this year's program, and that will be kicking off July 23rd. So if you have an interest to this program, you want to get in, and we happen to have open seats, which is unlikely at this point, it's best to double check or get on the wait list for next year, because the right way to end a relationship for you just simply might be not just this podcast away, but a skill development with 9 other people that are going through exactly what you're going through. So click the link in the show notes below to sign up or be put on the wait list to enroll in that program. We would love to have you. And lastly, for closing sentiments and episode suggestion, Bianca, what do we got?
If you enjoyed this episode and want to dive a little bit deeper into helping yourself understand, should I stay? Should I go? Maybe you're still questioning it. 518, it's actually titled should I stay or should I go? So that'll be a great episode for you as a primer to then come back to this one once you have made the decision to end it.
Woo. All right. Well, that being said, go listen to that. And as always, thank you for your interest in the holistic science of mental health and well-being. We know this stuff isn't easy, but you're not alone. Please know that and keep evolving, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.